and the Caribbean. During this time, collaborations specific to food security were sought with other nations in the Caribbean that are facing similar challenges as the Bahamas. Minister Sweeting also said that his ministry is looking at ways to expand its assistance to local farmers.
Well, I think, first of all, we have to recognize that food security is paramount in this country. During the pandemic, I think and especially now with the rise in food prices, we understand that not just providing food for ourselves to sell, but providing food for ourselves because of the cost. You know, we're trying to create this narrative that food security is a part of who we are as a people, and it becomes a cultural part of us. You know, back in the day, farmers across this country used to farm to not just feed themselves, but help feed communities. So that's a part of what we want to do. We also want to reinvigorate the sector to include young persons, women as well, so that they can be a part of this movement, that food security and agriculture will be innovative, will be transformative, and will be a way to include all sectors in this country. Young persons have not had the interest in agriculture for some time. 80% of our farmers are over 60 years old, and we've missed a generation, and we're trying to bridge the gap to include everyone so that we don't just grow commercially, but we grow what we eat and we grow where we live. Growing up in a family island with a grandfather who was a fisherman and a farmer, you know, it's quite satisfying to grow something yourself and able to prepare it and eat it at the table. But if we all can play a role in this, backyard farming is something that can be something that you can do on your downtime. So it's a stress reliever to some. It might be stressful to some if they can't get it to grow. But you know, backyard farming along with commercializing the industry is something that has to work hand in hand. I don't think that we as a country can tackle food insecurity properly if we don't look at all aspects, how we can cause this problem to be mitigated.
Currently, the Bahamas imports 90% of its food, amounting to some $1 billion annually, with an estimated $650 million of those imports coming from the U.S. Just as the Bahamas has a huge food import bill, so do other CARICOM countries. Minister Sweeting says CARICOM is working to reduce food imports by 25% by the year 2025, and the Bahamas intends to help meet that goal. For Your Government in Action, I am Yentel Taylor.
That's it for this week of Your Government in Action. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy Burns-Roger. See you again next week.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Up in the news, Labor on the Blocks 2.0 could put a dent in the island's unemployment numbers. And an insect specialist addressing the proliferation of termites on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Tonight Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, while the unemployment rate on Grand Bahama has remained in the double digits for years, the Davis administration is finding creative ways to tackle the unemployment crisis that has been an additional challenge, particularly since Hurricane Dorian and the global pandemic. Well, this past weekend, the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry for Grand Bahama partnered for an initiative dubbed Labor on the Blocks. Aja Kwan joins us live from the Jack Haywood High School auditorium where the event was held. Aja, what can you tell us?
Was a day of hope for many lining up here at the Jack Haywood Senior High School Gymnasium this past Saturday for the Ministry of Labor and Ministry for Grand Bahama's Labor on the Block 2.0 job fair. Now in attendance was the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, greeting those job seekers as they entered this gymnasium. Gold Rock, Hutchinson Ports, the Grand Lucayan, and a number of businesses were all here dishing out applications and also giving interviews on the spot. Before the sun peaked the horizon, around 5 a.m. Saturday morning, residents began gathering at the gymnasium in hopes of gaining employment with a number of businesses at the Labor on the Blocks 2.0 job fair. Among them, Jared Russell, who was third in line.
It was awesome. As I went to the first person I've been to, which was Grandmama Shipyard, they sat me down, they introduced myself, and after all, it was like what I'm interested in. I told them electrical installation. They walked me through the process, also on the computer. I scanned off all of my documents, and next thing I know, they said, okay, we'll be giving you a call.
Minister Moxie, greeting persons as they enter the gymnasium, says it is a good day to see all the companies present and a part of the program, thanking the Ministry of Labor for their efforts and collaboration with the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
To see 22 companies here today, that means that jobs are here, jobs are available, and it's a matter of placement. And so we're happy to be a part of that. It's a big deal, you know. So many people have been suffering so long without having a job. You know, we have introduced the Beautiful Grand Bahama initiative. That's a short-term work program, but so much more needs to be done. You know, people need to be able to provide for themselves and their families, and so this right here is a big deal for, you know, the people in our community who, you know, some have been so disheartened based on what's been going on from Dorian, from the pandemic, being unemployed, not being able to support their families. So I'm excited to be a part of this happening today.
Coordinator of Labor on the Blocks 2.0, Sharon Johnson, says it is important to bring employers to job seekers as sometimes they can be overlooked.
It's very important to the community, mainly because we have a lot of applicants who said they dropped their application here and there and the next. Here it is. We are backing them up. We're saying to them, come. These companies have vacancies. They don't have to be looking all over the place. Every company represented here is prepared for interviews. We also have some training groups here as well for those who know that they need more training so that they can get involved and get registered.
Now, Ramiko, what I can tell you is that the coordinator of Labor on the Blocks 2.0 job fair says this is one of many to come with a success rate of over 90%. I'm Aja Quant, live here at the Jack Haywood Senior High School Gymnasium. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Aja. Certainly good news for job seekers. Now, over 20 businesses from a variety of fields in the corporate sector were also on hand to recruit potential candidates.
Well, today it is our hope as an organization to see if we could find a few good men and women who would love to serve among the ranks of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. It comes with a level of pride. If you're not proud to be a Bahamian, then you won't be able to serve because it comes with a lot of stress. You'll normally be provoked, but you have to be determined. You have to have strength. You have to have integrity. You have to have courage to be able to serve the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Today we're looking for male and female, but we're looking for female more in the office and cashiers aspect of it, and males in the labor field, more in the yard. We required first of all, we're a drug-free environment. But we require just a resume, a clean police record. We do all training on hand at our facility.
Now, there were also some businesses who were not only looking for employees, but were also offering courses to prepare job seekers for the work field.
I'm very excited being here at the job fair for the opportunities we have to offer for Grand Bahamians here on the island. We offer job readiness program at the Institute so that we can prepare persons how to get a job, how to keep a job, and how to excel on that job.
I think whenever you're talking about labor, you have to take into consideration BTVI. I think that we are the producers and developers of labor. And so we just want to be here so that the persons who are looking for jobs can also have an option. You can find a job, you could lose a job, but you could never lose education.
In other news, the Davis-Cooper administration paying special attention to the orange economy, also known as the creative economy, and the Bahamas Development Bank has launched a micro grant for those who fall under that sector. Well, tonight the Ministry for Grand Bahama is looking to assist some residents in the East Grand Bahama area who say they are hoping for an economic rebound in the area. Jamila Mizik reports.
Pelican on the beach, located in Pelican Point, East Grand Bahama, is making a comeback after the business was severely damaged by Hurricane Dorian's destruction of that neighborhood. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, taking an opportunity to visit the restaurant since its revitalization.
This is wonderful. I just saw some images of the day before the hurricane and days after, and it was a total devastation. I'm so excited to be here today because, of course, we have the Orange Economy grant that's coming up. The people in this community really need help. They still need help, and I believe that they have not received the help that they should have received for some time now. And so I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm looking at all of this creativity. You know, I speak a lot about empowering our people, and this right here is, I believe, where it's going to start.
Minister Moxie noting that residents in East Grand Bahama have suffered much, and she will continue to support them.
We are going to continue to create initiatives and programs that they benefit from. So I'm really excited about what I see here today, and to ensure that they get the things they need to continue to, improve the product and empower others along the way, because you have people that work here. And so I'm really excited to see what Pelican on the beach have been able to do, and the families here, and I will continue to support them.
Pelican Point resident Elvina Bain says she was born and raised in that community and has lived there her entire life. She says Pelican on the beach is a family-owned business.
This now is a hand down from our fathers. It's from our father, so we just continue his legacy and keeping the restaurant up. And this is just what I love doing. Cooking, I'm basically the main cook. Me and my sister Elva.
Bain expressing her gratitude that the restaurant is once again open for business.
After the hurricane, I basically was the only one that came back to Pelican Point about 3 weeks after the hurricane, and I was so happy I was able to come back because I was the one that feeds all the people that comes along, or everybody who want cold water. I would go hand it to them, all the workers. I would go hand them food or soda or water. So I'm happy that we get this so far. It's been a struggle, but it's still a struggle, but we still trying to do our best.
What makes Pelican on the beach so special is their creatively unique design. There at the restaurant you can find wooden menus, a handmade checkerboard, and many other items off the beach.
That's just in me. I'm a seamstress by profession, so I just love doing crafty stuff like shells and woodwork, and these pallets seems to be so nice to do things with. So every time my sister would come up and say, we need this, we need that, I would just run right down next week and I will have it done.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jamila. Aggressive termites becoming more and more popular throughout a number of communities on the island. These insects, are drawn to wood inside the home or by moisture, and even wood in contact with house foundations and cracks in building exteriors, giving it the potential to become destructive. Well, in this report, our Jay Philippe spoke to an environmental veteran to take a closer look at these pesky insects.
There seems to be an influx of termites on Grand Bahama. A number of residents took to social media to voice their concerns. Now, we spoke to Hugh Ferguson from Budget Pest Control, who was able to give us an update on the situation.
Every year, at around this time, from April the 15th through to the end of June, we have swarming season for super termites, specifically for them.
Veteran exterminator Hugh Ferguson says residents are experiencing a swarm of termites. He adds that these termites became noticeable on the island in 2010, and since then it's been 12 years of constant infestation.
When they swarm, what is really happening? You have millions of termites being coming out of the ground. They are flying into the air. They attract the light, so light from lamp poles, light from people's homes, and so on. But in that process, they are mating. Their sole purpose of swarming is to spread.
These large number of insects are called super termites because of its destructive habits due to the large size of its colonies and its ability to consume wood at a rapid rate. Now, Ferguson did offer some tips to minimize the insects from invading homes or other building structures.
Things that people can do, one of them being is to have an annual inspection done. Very important because that will allow us to get an early indication as to what's happening at your residence. Secondly, persons can keep away debris from their home, especially wooden debris, plywood and other items such as that tend to be lying against your foundation and so on, encourages and bring them near to your home. If you have stumps, tree stumps in your yard, you want to really and truly look at getting that removed.
Now, this resident who recorded a video of the super termites from her cell phone in a residential area spoke about her encounter that sparked many residents to comment on Facebook that ultimately became a topic of discussion.
I noticed a lot of termites, and as I keep driving along the road, there was an influx of termites. So I decided to take out my phone and record it. There was so much termites I had to put on my windshield wipers. And then I decided to put it on Facebook because it's an ongoing problem that I think we need to address with spraying the island. It might have been an influx due to the hurricane. A lot of old buildings and branches has been, just lying there, and termites eat on wood. So I think it's a problem that needs to be fixed.
Now, Ferguson believes these termites may have found themselves to Grand Bahama either on a yacht or a shipping vessel. Termites are known to attack the foundation of homes, and this is why he believes it is important to seek precautionary methods to reduce the possible risk of termites on your investments. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
And the search is still on for 33-year-old Jamal Jerome Chaplin. Police say they want to question him in connection with murder as well. His last known address, number 110 Watergate Drive. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, medium brown complexion, brown eyes with dreadlocks. Anyone spotting him should contact the police at 911, Crime Stoppers at 352-1919, 350-3106, or 9. Also, police officials still searching for 37-year-old Lawrence Bevins. Officers say they want to question him in connection with murder. His last known address is given as number 23 Duke Drive. Members of the public are urged to call police at 911, Crime Stoppers line 352-1919 or 911. Bevins is considered armed and dangerous. And when we come back, a local church assisting those without a place to call home. Hear how you can get involved. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, is back right after this.
Come on down. Come on down now.
At Pizza Hut, we believe in pizza and good deals. Enjoy 2 large one-topping pizzas for only $24.65, VAT inclusive. Call us downtown at 352-9191 or East Sunrise Highway, 373-8500 to order your 2 delicious Pizza Hut pizzas with your favorite toppings. Available for dine-in, carry-out, and delivery. Order 2 large one-topping pizzas at Pizza Hut Freeport today.
very pleased that this port is now on track to become a reality. This new port promises much in the way of Bahamian opportunities, from employment during the development and construction.
As my father would have said, this is a big deal.
Grand Bahama's story has been one of setbacks, but also one of success in the face of great adversity.
This development signals opportunities for creatives, vendors, small and medium-sized businesses, and represents our commitment to collaboration with local and international partners for the growth and betterment of Grand Bahama Island.
And this is why we must expedite this process to get shovel in the ground.
It's the largest development cruise port project on Grand Bahama this Thursday, May 12th, beginning at 9 a.m., only on the ZNS Network.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. As many remain displaced due to Hurricane Dorian, unemployment, and many other unfortunate circumstances, one local parish is doing its part to assist in housing those who need a place to rest. But tonight, officials say it will take a community effort to get it back up and running. Jamila Mizik reports.
It is a place of refuge for those who have nowhere else to stay. The Good Shepherd Homeless Shelter in Pinders Point will house a number of persons temporarily. However, they need your help in making it all possible.
Rector at the Church of the Good Shepherd, Father Jude, says the first phase of the shelter is complete thanks to the help of the Samaritan's Purse, who assisted in making necessary renovations to the building. He says the second phase now is adding the essential tools and materials needed to run the shelter.
We need things like bed, we need things like television, we need things like washer and dryer, and we may also need some kitchen amenities and stuff. We need anything that we can use to run this shelter effectively.
Now, once the second phase is complete and they have the green light from the Ministry of Health, Father Jude says they will be able to start housing residents. He admits that they have received many calls from persons interested in staying at the facility, which identifies that there is a great need.
However, we also need the assistance of corporate Bahamas. This can only be done by way of partnership. We cannot do this alone. The need is out there. Many people are still homeless. There are still people who still cannot afford to pay their mortgage. There are still people who have lost their homes. Some from Dorian, some because of joblessness and could no longer be able to afford to pay rent and mortgages. So we cannot turn a blind eye to such people.
For now, the Good Shepherd Homeless Shelter intends to house up to 26 men and women temporarily, and Father Jude says while there, the residents will also be empowered.
Some of the classes we tend to have is teaching them things like backyard farming. We are also going to be teaching how to manage money. We are going to be teaching them skills and entrepreneurship. All those things are going to be taught at no cost to them. So, because the purpose is that you want to empower them so that by the time they leave, they'll be able to put their legs on a solid footing.
Once again, Father Jude says the initiative can only be made possible with the help of corporate Bahamas and community partners, as it will take much assistance for the ongoing operation. Now, for those willing to assist, you can call 357-2110. Shamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jamila. Your Monday evening sports check is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Well, it was great to see athletes back on the track at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex for Island Sports. But when it's all said and done, there could only be one overall winner. It was a celebration at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High as they celebrated the win in the junior division at this year's Fidelity Bank Island Sports Track and Field Meet just last week. For coaches Stephanie Woodside, Andre Moxie, and Principal Albert Jones, the athletes' performance was outstanding.
We had a little shortcomings in the under 13 boys and the under 15 boys, because of the other schools. But in the end, we came out victorious when it came time for the relays where the double points counted, and I tried to make sure that we had students in every event.
I think that they all did well. I think that they put their best foot forward, a little nervous at the beginning, but when it boiled down to it on Friday, Saturday, when we needed them to step up, they all stepped up very well, and closing out on Monday, they did a very good job.
It took a lot of motivating the athletes because some of them didn't have the confidence that they needed in order to compete. But this was an overall team effort. We made sure that athletes were in as many events as we could get them in so that we can score points.
Ninth grader Marinique Roll competed in 5 events and walked away with multiple medals. Another top performer was 12-year-old distance runner Desrico Ambrister.
My 400, I was running for time, so I just was make sure I run the fastest I could. Yeah, I come first in the heat, second in the finals, and then all my other races I just was making sure to run them. And in the 800, I didn't run it at my best. I was feeling off to run the race, so I didn't win it. And just listen to my coaches, train hard, and just run my races.
I jogged the first and then sprint the last, then I just come first.
Great job, athletes and coaches. Sticking with track and field, the final day of Island Sports somewhat was disappointing for many athletes, coaches, and spectators as the track facility did not have sufficient lighting during the relays Monday night, which made it difficult to see. Deputy Director of Sports for the Northern Bahamas, Norris Bain, explains that it came as a surprise.
When the meet took place that night, and we weren't able to get on the lights, kind of surprising. And certainly we do not want to blame the Grand Bahama Power Company in no way, because even if we had called the Grand Bahama Power Company, I think we were down to like 4 or 5 races that we would have been calling them out here. For it's just an unfortunate event. We certainly, with NACAC Championship coming here in August, it's going to be very important that we get the lights working properly, which means that we have to take the responsibility and get the information to the Grand Bahama Power Company in time so that it's not an international embarrassment.
And finally in sports, Jonquil Jones and the Connecticut Sun tipped off the WNBA season on the weekend. The Sun went to lose 81-79, dropping their season opener on the road against the Liberty on Saturday night at the Barclays Center. Reigning MVP, Jonquil Jones had 15 points and 7 rebounds on 6 of 17 shooting from the field. The Sun will look to bounce back from the loss in their next game, where they are scheduled to take on the LA Sparks at home later on this week. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, number 3 Milton Street, wants to shower you with love with a 20% off store-wide sale for the month of February. Call 602-5467. Certain restrictions apply.
With a mission to be the best, world-class athletes depend on Alive to stay connected. With our Freedom Plans, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plans, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty Bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
Island Bedding is the Bahamas' leading manufacturer in mattress sets. But did you know we also carry top quality products like pillows, comforters, sheets, and much more. Our furniture line is also expanding to meet the needs of those rebuilding. We have bedroom sets, sofa beds, recliners, accent pieces, and so much more. Come and experience Island Bedding today, where everybody deserves their own island.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married?
Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet
with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Now, very pleased that this port is now on track to become a reality. This new port promises much in the way of Bahamian opportunities, from employment during the development and construction.
As my father would have said, this is a big deal.
Grand Bahama's story has been one of setbacks, but also one of success in the face of great adversity.
This development signals opportunities for creatives, vendors, small and medium-sized businesses, and represents our commitment to collaboration with local and international partners for the growth and betterment of Grand Bahama Island.
And this is why we must expedite this process to get shovel in the ground.
It's the largest development cruise port project on Grand Bahama this Thursday, May 12th, beginning at 9 a.m., only on the ZNS Network.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And our Facebook friend of the night is Sophia Wildgoose. And of course, we want to thank you so much for your support. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team here in the North, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. But be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Tonight, the national report where things stand in those shocking Exuma deaths. Health officials praised for a travel advisory downgrade. A deadly freak accident probed. And softball season set to swing. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin our continued coverage on the tragedy in Exuma. As widely reported, 3 American citizens are dead after what was supposed to have been a relaxing vacation at a high-end resort. From all accounts, it was an anniversary trip that unfortunately ended with one half of a couple gone, the other clinging to life. Cleopatra Murphy leads us off tonight on the local police force's investigation, with the police commissioner himself confirming that all of the victims received medical attention prior to their death.
Police have officially identified the 3 people who died under still unclear circumstances at Exuma's luxury Sandals Emerald Bay Resort on Friday. They are Tennessee couple 68-year-old Michael Phillips and his wife 65-year-old Robbie Phillips, along with 64-year-old Florida resident Paul Vincent Chiarella. Chiarella's 65-year-old wife Donis, the sole survivor, was at last report in serious condition in a Florida hospital. Autopsies were expected to begin on Monday, with Commissioner of Police Paul Roll revealing during a press conference that pathologists have collected samples from all of the victims, while forensic scientists have collected samples to be examined.
We are actively engaging a lab in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States, to assist us with the expediting the toxicological examinations of all of these samples. Once those examinations are done, our pathologists would be able to provide us with an official report as to the exact cause of death and help us to determine exactly what has happened.
Roll adding that samples forensic scientists collected from the 2 villas occupied by the couples prior to the tragedy will be used to determine the presence of contaminants. A shroud of mystery surrounds the death of the 3 victims who were staying in adjacent villas on the high-end Exuma property. Initial reports are that around 9 a.m. Friday, Sandal staff alerted police to a male victim being found unresponsive in his villa. While en route, they were notified of another man and woman also unresponsive in another villa. It was in the first villa that police found Donis Chiarella, who was celebrating her 40th wedding anniversary on the island with her husband. Both reportedly showed signs of convulsions. While police cited no signs of trauma, reports have swirled over the possibility of poisoning from an air conditioning system leak, which Roll addressed.
We have collected several samples from the premises there, and the forensic examination should be able to help us to determine what type of, whether or not there was a chemical or whatever it was. We're hoping that would be able to answer for us.
As officials work to determine a cause of death, the police commissioner gave a timeline on when the toxicology and autopsy reports are expected.
The pathology report, the lab has assured us that they will be able to get us their examination and results within 7 days. I'm making arrangements now for the scientists to leave, if not this afternoon, by tomorrow, because we still have to wait for the pathologists to collect samples from the deceased, and we want to make sure that we have everything covered in one. Once we get the report back from the lab, then the doctor will complete the pathologist report, and that could take another couple of weeks.
In the meantime, Roll says arrangements are being made to have the victims' properties handed over to the U.S. Embassy, which will make arrangements to have those bodies returned to the U.S. He says a team from the Department of Environmental Health and Police remain at the resort as the investigation continues. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, no doubt the eyes of the world on the island of Exuma as news of this tragedy make the rounds. Desmond Saunders landed in Exuma earlier this evening and tells us what's happening on the ground there. Good evening, Desmond. What can you tell us?
Well, a pleasant good evening, Makusla, and good evening, Bahamas. And you said it right. The eyes of the world are fixed on Exuma following the mysterious deaths of those 3 American tourists last Friday at the Sandals Resort. And I can tell you the mood here, quiet. Some residents reserved, some hopeful. As it relates to the impact of tourism, many say minimal, but we have the identities of those tourists killed. Michael Phillips, 68, and his wife, Robbie Phillips, 65, from Tennessee, Vincent Paul Chiarella, 64, Florida, and the 4th American, Chiarella's 65-year-old wife, Donna Chiarella. Condition remains serious but fair. As I can tell you, a lot of news generated both locally and internationally surrounding this tragedy that took place last Friday. And as you heard in Cleo's report, autopsies are underway. Detectives still trying to unravel this mystery that happened last week Friday. Joining me on the broadcast, I have 2 residents here who are willing to talk to me this evening to talk about this tragedy and its impact on Exuma, Paradise Exuma. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening. Good evening to the audience. My name is Jenny Mae Roll, a citizen Roll down Exuma. I'm very concerned of that incident, what happened, but I hope for the best, because we in Roll Town and in Georgetown and the whole of Exuma is very concerned about our guests. That's all I have to say for that moment.
All right, I have someone who is intimately involved in the tourism industry, taxi driver Patrick Dorset. Now, you are aware that the Minister of Tourism, who is also the Member of Parliament for Exuma, Chester Cooper, foreshadowed a number of investments to be unfolding or that will take place on this island. Any impact on the local tourism product do you think this tragedy may have?
It may have, but for right now, I don't see anything that's different. It's just a lot of whispering going on right now. So everybody's kind of speculating, but the impact, I don't feel it right now.
Have you been to the Sandals property? What's the mood, the feeling?
It's just quiet. Just quiet. That's all. You know, everybody's tight-lipped about everything. So just gonna wait and see. You know, just gonna wait and see.
All right, Patrick Dorset, who is a taxi driver, Jenny May Roll, who's a resident who lives here in Exuma. I can tell you, Makushla, a few minutes ago, I had an opportunity to speak to the Minister of Health, and he told me, as you're aware, there was a multi-agency delegation that was here over the weekend, and he tells me that they're on the pulse, they remain alert, and they're actively involved with the investigation. Also spoke briefly with the Minister of Tourism, and he's telling me that he's continuing to reach out to the grieving families on this tragedy. We'll have more information for you. You can tune into updates to the morning edition. As more information become available, we'll be the first to bring it to you. Live here, Exuma International Airport, Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Well, thanks, Desmond. You speak of impact. Well, since the incident, officials over at the Ministry of Tourism have been locked in discussions with top execs of Sandals, who, according to Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, have seen minimal cancellations thus far.
Team from the Ministry of Health, Environment and Works, headed by Dr. Darwell, has confirmed that the incident is isolated to the two villas in question. Sandals have already done further investigations in relation to the rest of the hotel. The engineers are satisfied that there are no issues in the remaining property. And guests seem to be equally satisfied. I believe that the summer months is going to continue to be strong for the island of Exuma. We are hopeful that the international community and the guests that come from our key source markets will see this as it is, an isolated incident in relation to the persons involved.
Despite the tragedy and the negative publicity that comes with such incidents, Cooper, who also serves as the Member of Parliament for the island of Exuma, is equally optimistic that the issue will not have an adverse effect on the country's robust tourism numbers.
Our main issue today is really to reach out to the family, as we've done, and offer our thoughts and prayers. That's our priority today. Tomorrow we will get back to discussing the business of tourism, but for now our primary focus is really on the well-being of the families involved.
Well, our news team has tried all weekend to make contact with a representative from Emerald Bay Sandals to get more answers on exactly what happened, how, and why. Numerous attempts were made to speak with the property's general manager, Jeremy Mutton, and today even Sandals Resorts International Chairman Adam Stewart in Jamaica. We were unsuccessful in both instances. We will definitely keep trying to get this information on this still developing story. The incident also prompting, meantime, us to reach out to the United States Embassy for comment. Public Affairs Officer Daniel Durazo confirming that the U.S. Embassy was immediately notified of the incident on Friday. He says since then, embassy officials have been working closely with Bahamian authorities to assist the families in every way they can. Now, out of respect for the privacy of those individuals and the families involved, the embassy says there's nothing to add at this time. The statement concluded with deepest condolences to the bereaved families. Still to come, not so good news from the CDC and a freak accident probed. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
What does support look like? What does it sound like when you feel the pulse of a nation? When you make a difference in the lives of strong, principled, cultured people who are driven by hard work and passion. People who build communities where hospitality is warmly demonstrated because this is the Bahamas, and we're happy to share our wealth. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians. Bahamians helping Bahamians.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A juicy piece of KFC to feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
At the Department of Housing, we are working diligently to expand the path to home ownership. We have streamlined our mortgage application process to make it easier and more convenient for you, our valued clients. The first step in the application process is to register online at www.mothbahamas.com. Registering online is a critical step in the mortgage application process, as it allows for a specific profile to be created, and it also allows you, our valued clients, to easily track and monitor your application as it moves through the various phases. The following documents are required: passport, NIB smart card, voter's card or recent utility bill not older than 3 months old to confirm address, job letter, pay stub, print of current credit facilities, which includes consumer loans and credit cards. For self-employed persons, the Department of Housing will require company documentation, such as a valid business license and business account statements for a minimum of 12 consecutive months. The Department of Housing, making access to quality, affordable housing easier for Bahamians. If you're interested in quality, affordable housing built at the highest construction standards, please register at www.mothbahamas.com or call us at 302-5816.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Not so positive news on the COVID-19 front as the Bahamas has knocked down a peg on an important COVID-19 metric. Cleopatra Murphy tells us what it means for the local economy and the attempt to further open it up.
The country's COVID-19 travel rating has taken a hit amid rising COVID-19 infection numbers as the U.S. Centers for Disease Control is poised to raise its advisory from level 1 to a level 2 this week. Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says health officials received notification of the change.
Over the last 28 days, we were working very diligently to keep the numbers to the point that would keep us at level 1. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And we were notified by CAFA that the Bahamas will be escalated to COVID risk level number 2.
The downgrade comes as the Bahamas has seen consecutive days of cases in the high teens and 20s, hitting 37 new infections on Saturday, the highest in weeks. While comforted that the rise is not yet reflected in hospitalizations, Darville says Bahamians must do what is necessary to reduce the risk of the virus spreading.
We must be mindful that we are now going from a place where we were level 1 to a situation where we're classified as level 2. And it means that the risk of exposure exists. And this means that healthcare professionals and our public relation officers must ensure that Bahamians understand what's going on and the fact that they need to practice social distancing, the necessary protocols that have been laid down by the public health officials.
Darville says if there is a significant and sustained rise in COVID-19 cases, it could have implications for Bahamas Carnival that has been approved for later this month.
If you were to read the letters that we're actually sending out with approvals, there is a clause in the letter that indicates that these are conditional approvals, and if we see things are really getting out of hand, we have the authority to step in. But as it stands right now, I think we are at a point where we don't need to do it, but it's something that all of the promoters are aware of.
As for the possibility that restrictions that were loosened could be reintroduced, the minister says that's not the plan right now, as the local COVID-19 situation is very fluid. But he says that could be a part of discussions when health officials meet Wednesday. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, Sunday accounting for 16 new COVID cases, 15 on New Providence and 1 on Grand Bahama. Look at gender, and that's 8 females and 8 males. This while hospitalizations have increased to 9. As for recoveries, the latest dashboard puts that number at 4. Well, not the kind of news any family wants to hear, but that's just what relatives of a senior citizen got this morning following a fatal collision here in the capital. Our Crystal Darling has the details.
Curious onlookers swarming Chesapeake Road early this morning after a freak accident ended the life of a senior citizen. The victim believed to be in his early 70s. Press liaison officer Superintendent Audley Peters telling reporters that investigating officers headed to the scene after 8 a.m. following reports of a collision.
They found a 1997 silver Honda CRV lodged into a single-story structure. Both this vehicle and the structure received extensive damages. On an inspection of the vehicle, the officers found an adult male in the driver's seat suffering from injuries sustained as a result of the collision. Emergency medical services were summoned, and following their investigations or assessment of the body, it was determined that there was no signs of life.
Initial investigations point to the victim at the time traveling south on Mackey Street.
When he experienced some physical complication and was alerted by other drivers with the use of their horns, he then turned east onto Chesapeake Road, and losing control, he eventually collided into the single-story structure.
Shaken by the accident, bystander Monica Fernander. She says she was sitting on the steps of the wooden structure into which the victim's car collided when she witnessed the car spiraling.
It looked like he was heading straight to me. So I said to myself, Lord, this man can hit me. So I just jumped up and I ran that way. I was so nervous that I just called my friend. He was in there. And my only thought that I didn't hear anything. Oh, my only thought was that, oh my Lord, he's dead. But apparently he had stepped out of the way before the car hit.
Literally was just going about my business, took a step to the side in the same place I was standing is where the car ended up. It just happened to move at the right time. Well, actually, I got pushed through the back with the car, so yeah, pretty much easy getting out. Just I had to turn off the car. The gentleman's foot was still on the pedal, and after that, just tried to assist him as best I could until the ambulance arrived.
Police are awaiting the victim's next of kin to confirm his identity. Officials are also awaiting the results of an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death. Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
Local fraudsters swindling unsuspecting Bahamians out of hundreds of thousands of dollars rather, on social media, and police are sounding the alarm over it. Our Fern Carey spoke with the head of the Financial Crimes Investigations Branch, who shared how to avoid becoming a victim.
Head of the Financial Crimes Investigation Branch, Chief Superintendent Matthew Edgecombe, warning Bahamians and residents to be careful when using various social media platforms, as fraudsters are using every tool in their arsenal to scam money from unsuspecting victims. The detective says recent trends show that fraudsters are offering products online and requesting that funds be deposited onto web shop accounts. However, he stressed that legitimate businesses use financial institutions rather than web shop accounts.
Be careful of what you put on the social media platforms. Because you put a lot of information on the social media platforms, a lot of information, a lot of personal information. And sometimes we wonder how these persons know about who we are, where we work, our social liking. But we put it out there sometimes.
Police are also noticing that fraudsters are contacting retirees, especially women, with the pretense of being in a relationship, but their main goal is to get money.
But the person really believed that they were in a genuine relationship. So I want to send you a car, a nice Mercedes Jeep. But all you can do is pay these funds to get it, to pay for some fees and all of that. So allow me to use your bank account. I want to send you some money. All after some money is sent to your account. But I need you to transfer the money out of country to me. I live in various parts of the world. They act like they are rich people. And sometimes, some persons are caught up in a web of money laundering.
Members of the business community are also being preyed upon, with fraudsters using fake checks to get various items from these establishments.
They usually buy generators, lumber, building materials, I should say, and large items like refrigerators, TVs, and they will say to you, well, okay, good, I want a code for these items. So you give them a code, and they hit the furniture stores too. If they give them a code, then they say, well, I'm going to send somebody with a check to pay for them, and they put in the large sum of monies that the quote you give them. But, we told business to be aware of that.
Foreign nationals are also being targeted, with scam artists soliciting funds from them in exchange for various services. However, the detective says many of these services are offered online, and there are also companies that offer these services. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Well, it seems no sooner they're done with one exercise, immigration officials are busy booking a repatriation flight for another group of illegals, the latest one just this past Friday. Just after noon that day, a Bahamas Air chartered flight left New Providence for Port-au-Prince, Haiti. On board were 131 Haitian nationals, 94 men, 15 women, and 22 children. Again, there's the assurance that all COVID-19 protocols were strictly observed.
And remember to tune into news updates starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition at 6:30 p.m., all right here on the ZNS News Network.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road.
And saving is so easy with higher interest and no monthly maintenance fees.
It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
After 2 years of waiting, festivals are making a big comeback. Director of Events Management, Charity Brister, shares more.
We are so pleased to announce that festivals and other events are back. We've gotten that green light, and so we are going full force and planning all of our signature events. The Labor Day weekend actually is packed. So we have the Pineapple Festival, we have the Cat Island Rake and Scrape, and then there's the Baratari Regatta and Homecoming, and of course, you know, there's the Long Island Regatta. All of these things are taking place on the Labor Day weekend between June 2nd and 6th. And so Bahamians can pick and choose which island and event that they would like to attend. These events are such great economic boom for all of these communities. And so people are really excited, and we look forward to everybody coming out, participating, enjoying the culture. Now visitors will have so much more to do, and we have so much more things for them to spend their monies on. All of the information on the various festivals are on bahamas.com.
To learn more about upcoming festivals throughout the islands of the Bahamas, visit bahamas.com/events. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
My name is Trevon Thompson. I'm a blog editor, and I am fully vaccinated. When I hear COVID-19, the first thing that comes to my mind is respiratory illness. And as someone who has asthma, who has a child that has asthma, that is really concerning to me. My breathing has always been iffy in the best of times, so I was really concerned that this was something that was gonna put me in the hospital. The exact moment when I changed my views about getting the COVID-19 vaccine didn't happen until after I'd gotten COVID. I thought I was being really careful, you know, I thought I was sanitizing, I was distancing, but I still got the virus. And so out of an abundance of concern for myself and for my family, I decided that that was probably the best route for me to go down. All of the close friends that I have are now vaccinated because we felt safe going that route and felt like now especially was the best time for that to happen. The time is now.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
After a 2-year hiatus thanks to COVID-19, the spring sitting of Youth in Parliament returns this week. Some 39 young Bahamians, 29 from New Providence and 14 from the Family Islands, will put their public speaking skills to the test as they extensively debate gender-based violence and mental health. The mock proceedings, which normally happens during Youth Month in October, will take place in the House of Assembly this coming Friday at 10 a.m. Program leader for Youth in Parliament, Carla Brown Roker.
Family Islanders began to arrive on Saturday, Sunday, and today. They have participated in a long virtual training to ready themselves for presentations on mental health and gender-based violence. Youth in Parliament has existed for over 22 years, with the Bahamas having the oldest in the region.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bowlegs, pleased with the program's success in creating the country's future politicians.
The youth of our nation must be given a platform where they can openly share their views and concerns regarding key issues of national importance. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, in association with the House of Assembly, provides them with such opportunity through the Youth Mock Parliament. Now in its 22nd sitting, the annual Youth in Parliament has been the birthplace of a number of current political personalities and has provided the impetus for the inclusion of youthful views and ideas, dreams and aspirations on matters of national development.
Well, it's a fact that sisters form an unbreakable bond. And tonight we introduce you to 3 sisters who are taking their commitment and passion for education to a whole other level. LaDawn Davis has their story.
I would always play with my cousins on our front porch. I'd always play teacher with them, and I would print out their worksheets and mark their work.
It's this enactment on her relatives that further cemented the lifelong career path in the teaching profession for Clydesha Cornish. This stellar math educator at the Huntley Christie High School credits a number of veterans for inspiring her to make teaching her career of choice.
But what also pushed me to become a teacher was when my older sister, Lene, would have went to college, and she called me and told me about her stories on her observations and stuff like that. It really excited me. And so I knew from there on I wanted to become a teacher. Now, when I got in high school, I would have that I really love mathematics. I mean, I had some awesome teachers in high school. They made it really interesting and enjoyable. So I would have chosen math because of all of that.
But this is where it gets interesting. Clydesha's sisters, Lene Brown Hall and Shamika Cornish, who is expected to graduate from the University of the Bahamas in a few days, are all math educators. It's a critical subject in our public school system that veteran educator Lene says, if made fun, will enhance the performance of students.
After I would have talked to them and given them examples and, work with them along those lines, they tend to open up. And once you start integrating the games and all the fun stuff and, applying it and showing them, okay, well, this is how you use math. This is what you do. They become more open. And so their confidence in math grows, and it makes them more excited to come to class and actually participate and do the work in their grades to improve.
And as she makes her teaching debut, Shamika says she plans to take her after-school tutoring program along with her for the ride.
I would have done it in high school. I would have taught primary school students as well as high school students in the field of math, of course. And even coming to UB, I tutor different courses at UB, like Math 140. I just love to see students when they have a specific grade in mind and they achieve that grade. It's just such a fulfilling feeling, because I help them to get what they wanted. So, yeah, tutoring is something that I would always want to continue doing.
Now, there were times when all 3 sister teachers wanted to throw in the towel, but they say their passion for the subject gave them the push they needed to succeed. They're hopeful, though, that their journey would encourage others to keep on going. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, Be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Sometimes you need to make a classic move. That's why for all of life's moments, there's one classic credit card. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses as well as life's little surprises. Apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic and enjoy 1 year's free membership. Conditions apply.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
Discover the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
I discovered the possibilities.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Time to save with a new perspective, where the focus is on values and principles, and people are just as important as profits, where we believe in democracy and equality, and your vote counts, where profits are shared with our members, who are also our owners, to ensure that by working together, we all win, where education of our members and training our staff are one of our highest priorities, where we serve our members' needs through continued cooperative initiatives because of our concern for the communities in which we live. Join more than 40,000 Bahamians who have made the smarter choice. Join the movement. Join a credit union. People helping people to help themselves.
If you like a hearty, meaty burger, the A1 Steakhouse King at Burger King Nassau has it all. With flame-grilled beef, lots of bacon, cheese, and crispy onions on a sesame seed bun, the only thing that can top this is the tangy flavor of A1 steak sauce. The Steakhouse King is a meat lover's dream, and with an ice-cold Pepsi and hot fries, it's all you need to fill your day. Get your A1 Steakhouse King as a combo or part of the new King's Feast, only at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
One of the country's newest resorts, Kamalami Key, sits near the Barrier Reef in South Andros. The exclusive property employs over 130 Bahamians, accounting for over 90% of its workforce. Still, they're hoping to hire more people, particularly pilots, to fly their seaplanes. In fact, CEO Michael King reveals free sea pilot scholarships for qualified Bahamians.
We have a number of pilots already on board that are Bahamian, but the mission is to
is to have Bohemians flying Coco Bahamas. And so the scholarship will look for 2 to 4 pilots that are already pilots. They can be they can go through the final process and be credited as Seaplane pilots. We're announcing it on Monday. It's a scholarship program. They can go online to flycocobahamas.com, fill out an application, and in 6 weeks' time we'll announce the successful candidates. But Coco is all about putting Bohemians first and celebrating the beauty of the Bahamas.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Commissioner. This evening we are under partly cloudy skies. The temperature just around 79 degrees. Relative humidity at 70%. East-northeast winds at 15 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,014.3 millibars. That's 30.00 inches. And the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the outlets this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 77 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Atoll, Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco, the Berry Islands at 78 degrees. Allenstown, Bimini, 80, 77 in Harbor Island. Rock, Sandy, Luttrell, a little warmer at 80 degrees, 79 in Black Point, Exuma, Camp Space at Andros, and Fresh Creek, Central Andrews, 1 degree less at 78 degrees. Over in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, the mercury column reached 80 degrees. 82 degrees in Georgetown, Exuma, 82s in Ragged Island, Clarence, Down Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands, Matthew, Taninago, 84, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter in the Northwestern Islands tonight. The winds are going to be north to northeast, 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet, so caution flags are in place for boaters in the Northwest Bahamas. The low tide will take place at 9:12 tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, northerly flow at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, and then tomorrow in the Northwest and Central Islands, the winds continue out of the north at 12 to 18 knots with that caution flag now being extended to the central Bahamas, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Low tide will take place at 10 in the morning with a high tide at 4:05 in the afternoon. Now for the southeast Bahamas tomorrow, northerly winds at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. And as we head into the middle of the week on Wednesday, in the Northwest and Central Islands, the winds fall off out of the north at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. We'll drop the caution flags on Wednesday. Low tide takes place at 10:48 in the morning, high tide 4:58 in the afternoon. Now for the southeastern islands on Wednesday, light and variable winds with flat seas. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
See me on the dance floor, man, and kind on by. Hey, stalling, moving, raking, scraping, man, to this beat. Well, sliding, slipping, dipping, dancing all across the floor. Whining, bumping, ducking, Lord, I'm holding my head. Well, listen, you can't blame me.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
It'll knock you off your feet.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Started with today's lesson. Bobby, can you tell me the national bird of the Bahamas?
Miss J, we can't hear Bobby because he's fooling around with the other guys.
All right now, y'all settle down. That's okay, Bobby. I'll have a talk with your mom. It's time to transform the way you learn.
Transform the way you learn and improve your in-home Wi-Fi coverage with Eero.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs. Click Login. Register with a government-issued ID like your NIB card. Fill in your personal information exactly as it appears on your ID, including spaces, periods, and dashes. You'll only have to sign up once. Now you're ready to request services on My Gateway. Receive an email confirmation for every request and email alerts when your documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. New services will be added every month. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. For more information, visit mygateway.gov.bs.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plan, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you wanna look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Monday. I'm Charles Fisher. Heavy rain on the weekend, causing some postponements in play in the Bahamas Government Departmental Softball Association. Monday morning, League President Dwayne Stevens was doing some work to the field that normally hosts fast-pitch softball. Stevens, who, by the way, happens to be president also of the New Providence Softball Association, gave us an update on having just assumed office in March.
Our executive team is in plan mode. We're trying to galvanize players as well as teams so we can commence play. As you know, with the hiatus from COVID-19, a lot of persons have lost their mental interest as it relates to the sport. So what we're doing now is touching bases with individuals on a one-to-one basis, trying to galvanize them to revive the sport.
According to Stevens, this one field is being overworked.
There are a number of challenges. Of course, if you look at the concession stand, this morning we have workmen here trying to commence work to get the concession stand to a point that, you know, we would be able to use it. In addition to that, because of the work that the NSA is doing across the street, there is only one field, as well as Sudden Recreation Ground, there's only one field for use for softball practice. So you have old-timers, Government League, and the Night League, everybody trying to use this single field for practice.
And with that in mind, when can we see fast-pitch softball swinging again?
Our tentative date is the 4th of June. That's our tentative date to commence Night League softball. And so far, with the help of the Almighty God, it's looking that we would be able to commence 4th of June.
On Tuesday, we talked to Stevens about Government League play and his serving as president of the New Providence Softball Association and the Bahamas Government League Softball Association. From track and field, Anthony Strawn competing Saturday in Jamaica at the SDF Jubilee of Stars Showcase, coming second in the 100 meters in a time of 11.40 seconds. The race here won by Jamaican Sharika Jackson in 11 seconds flat. And the latest world track and field rankings are out. Stephen Gardner is still the top 40-meter runner in the world with his time of 44.22 seconds and is also ranked at number 19 in the 20 meters in 20.28. Shawnee Miller Uibo next in line, the leading Bahamian female, second in the 40 meters in 49.91. Laquan Nen soaring in the long jump rankings at 5th with a distance of 26 feet 11 3/4. Samson Colbrook speeding his way 10.01 seconds has him at number 11 in the 100 meters. Anthony Strawn has her name on 2 events, 10.99 in the 100 meters, and she's pegged at number 14 and 16th in the 200 meters in 22.55. Also ranked in the 200 meters is Tania Gaither, 11th in 22.45 seconds. Ohio State Sean Miller Jr. joining his sister Shawnee in the rankings, coming in 12th in the high jump, 7 feet 5. He did that at the Penn Relays. And rounding out the Bahamian world leaders is Tamara Myers. She is 19th in the triple jump, 44 feet 10 3/4. DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns heading back home after failing to win a game in Dallas. Ayton was able to stay out of foul trouble to drop in 14 points and pull down 11 rebounds in the 111-101 loss for the Mavericks. Game 5 is Tuesday in the Valley of the Sun. And Josh Chisholm wearing pink in honor of Mother's Day, a solo home run here in the 6th. He finished 1 for 4 without running an RBI as the Miami Marlins lose another close one, 3-2 to the San Diego Padres. It was his 5th long ball of the season. Miami will continue their road trip as they are in Arizona to face the D-backs starting tonight. And that's going to do it for Sports Monday. Thanks for watching and enjoy your evening.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Bahamas National Statistical Institute, formerly the Department of Statistics, is commencing the 2022 census during the months of April through June. There will be 3 ways for individuals to complete their questionnaires: online, via telephone, and in person. The online census will have a questionnaire that individuals can complete from the comfort of their home. This only applies to the households who would have provided contact information during the 2021 listing exercise. Via the telephone, census administrators will be conducting the census questionnaire over the phone. And finally, the traditional in-person interviews will also be conducted. You may ask the question, well, what is the census? The right answer would be the total count of people living in the country at a specified time. Every person in every dwelling unit, regardless of age and nationality, throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas will be counted. The count depends on you.
send this to you. It's in my paper. And thank you kindly for allowing me to run research here and help us in the life that I do whatever you need to on this particular topic. And thanks again.
That presentation by Dr. Patsy Wilson, Director of Recruitment and Admissions at the University of the Bahamas, was the first of its kind in the country. Dr. Wilson explains.
My study is a doctoral degree in business administration with a focus on emphasis in management. And it's about succession plan strategies at the Ministry of Education. It's going to be beneficial to the ministry because of the findings I found, the need for debate for the employees to be made known that there is succession planning, and there's some need for some additional things that need to be presented. For example, whenever someone on retirement and they have the vacation leave for a certain amount of time, and they cannot fill that void of vacancy to wait and go to public sector and so forth. So there is a need of having persons to also be able to have maybe 4 or 5 persons to be persons that's a high potential employees, to target 5 persons who may want to be a permanent secretary or an education officer.
Congratulating Dr. Wilson, Education Director Marcellus Taylor says the research can go a long way.
I think our research study is going to help us with understanding what the current situation is vis-a-vis people's attitudes towards succession planning, their understanding of succession planning, and even give us the opportunity to look at how we deal with succession planning. One of the things that you want to do as a leader in an organization such as this is to try and ensure that the organization's capacity continues to grow and that the members within the organization continue to become stronger so that they could contribute.
I'm Adama Williams for Red Talk.
So when you look at the complement of women that we have across the business today, they're in the commercial field, they're in the IT field, the technology field. We've been very strategic and that women had a place not only at the table, but also that different views and not just one voice is being heard to ensure that we're providing innovative and creative solutions to our customers to enable their lifestyle to be even more seamless as we go forward.
As a mom, I'm always concerned about which products will work best with my baby's skin. And then I tried this diaper called MoleFix. The quality is amazing. And I noticed that with the design of MoleFix, the air flows easily, so I see no rashes or redness, which I love. But my favorite part is she sleeps straight through the night because it keeps her dry all night. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick with this one.
MoleFix, the diaper that moves with your baby. Distributed by Variety Disposable Products.
Family gatherings start with a trip to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for great savings like Mahatma long grain rice, 10 pounds, $7.99. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, 2 for $5. Hunt's ketchup, 32 ounce, $2.69. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.19 per pound. Sweet cantaloupes, 2 for $5. Continue to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Ordinary people, you've never seen anything like this before. This is art and fashion together in one.
Hi, this is Novi Pierre, also known as Novi Pierre. Do not miss me on Ordinary People doing extraordinary things.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures showing the cloud mass associated with that frontal system now across the central and southeast Bahamas. So showers and thunderstorms can still be expected from Great Exuma all the way down to the Turks and Caicos Islands, and they will be in pockets and occasionally heavy at times. Meanwhile, in the northwest Bahamas, we will see some improvement in our weather over the next couple of days. The only thing that will change, the winds will increase in strength beginning tonight and primarily out of the north. So you'll notice some cooler temperatures over the next couple of days. Tonight, we're going in for partly cloudy and milder conditions. The low temperature just around 70 degrees. That's pretty nice. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant with a high temperature of 80 degrees. And your extended weather forecast pretty nice through tomorrow. On Wednesday, we could get some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but that will be short-lived. Thursday, the sun come back out. But over the weekend, you can anticipate an increase in showers and thunderstorms, and that will be courtesy of an upper-level trough, which is expected to move across the northwest Bahamas. Showers could be heavy at times, particularly on Saturday in the northwest Bahamas. Temperature-wise, we're going to keep you in the low 80s, which is pretty nice this time of the year. And we're going to pop another upper 60s. We have not seen that for quite a little while. So some wintry temperatures over the next couple of days. Things start to warm up a bit on Thursday, and that will continue to climb as we head into the weekend. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
Now, I'm very pleased that this port is now on track to become a reality. This new port promises much in the way of Bahamian opportunities, from employment during the development and construction.
As my father would have said, this is a big deal.